Well, hello everyone. Welcome to another edition of Crypto Corner, my video podcast where I discuss everything related to cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin especially, and blockchain technology. Well, today we have again a lot of moves on the market. We're going to check out what's happening with the overall crypto market, the top gainers and everything. We're going to talk about Bitcoin, of course, just as usual. And I'm going to also remind you about my crypto giveaway, 250 Cobo Vault tokens up for grabs. So stay tuned. Let's get started. Before I move on to the markets, let me first say thank you to Cobo Vault, our sponsors of this video. This is a brand new community-driven lending platform. It's based in Ohio, USA, and it aims to decentralize the borrowing and lending industry with the use of blockchain technology. The Cobo Vault platform allows borrowers to get access to hassle-free capital approved, voted, and supported by a community treasury in order to get any size loan without the oversight of a bank. They have a pre-sale of their native token, which is now open, and you can find the details on their website. They also just announced a partnership with BX Exchange for their initial exchange offering starting on November 28th. You can also earn some of these tokens for free by joining their community and taking part in the many social media challenges that are currently on offer. For full details, head over to cobovault.com. You will find the link in the description box below. As always, all of the links from this video are in the description box below, so make sure that you check them out. Also, if you're using MetaMask and you receive the tokens in your MetaMask wallet, you can even just use your MetaMask in order to swap them for another token. You don't have to go to any of the exchanges. It is, by the way, available on Bancor, Uniswap, Mooniswap, and CoinPaprika for now, maybe even more exchanges very soon. But what I like about MetaMask is that even though they charge a small fee, it is really a small fee, but they scan all the different exchanges and they give you the best quote. So you can even just do that. Anyway, if you want to grab some of these free tokens, you can not only participate in their social media challenges, you can also participate in our own giveaway here on Crypto Corner. I announced it a couple of days ago. It is 250 tokens giveaway to 3 lucky winners. So each will receive 250 tokens. So we're talking 750 tokens in total. All you have to do is in order to participate in this giveaway is you have to be a subscriber. So make sure that you subscribe to this channel. You have to leave a like and a comment below this video, or my previous video, or the video before that. All of the videos throughout this week until Friday, when I'm going to be selecting the winners. And only spam comments will not count. So if you leave a comment, whatever you say, if it is a genuine comment, it will actually count towards the giveaway. I'm going to discount any spam comments because unfortunately there are actually spam comments, believe it or not. Now let's move on to the markets and see what is happening today with Bitcoin. Okay, well, today we have another very green day. The markets are thriving. The total market cap is over 500 billion. Bitcoin's market cap is 334 billion. This is quite a jump from a couple of days ago. And Bitcoin's dominance is also growing, currently 67.3%. It was 64% just a couple of days ago. It was 61% last week. So we keep going up. And across the board, we are seeing a lot of green on all of the cryptocurrencies. We have Bitcoin currently trading at over 18,000, around 18,100. It goes up and down. It was 18,200 just half an hour ago when I was preparing for this video. So now we've dropped a little bit. Ethereum is 479. So this is quite some gains, 3% since yesterday for Ethereum, 8% for Bitcoin, 7.92 as we speak actually. Ripple 29 cents. It was 30 yesterday, so I mean, when I was recording the video it was 30 cents, so it is showing at a slight decline, minus 1.52%. Link is now already climbed to number 5 in market cap. This is great news, 13.61. Litecoin is not doing too bad. I mean, it's not much better than yesterday, but in the last week, if we look at it, it's gained 23%, which is remarkable. It is still the top gainer in the top 10 coins. Polkadot is at 470, Binance is at $28, and ADA is at 10 cents, Cardano. So these are the top 10. If we look at the weekly, as I said, Litecoin is the winner here, 23%. Ripple is doing not too bad, 14%, but Bitcoin is doing 17.52%, and for Bitcoin this is huge. In the last month, Bitcoin has gained almost 60%, guys. This is quite a difference from just a month ago. And if we look at the monthly, Bitcoin is in fact the biggest winner here, the biggest gainer in the top 10. Now, if we look at the Fear and Greed Index, we keep going up. So extreme greed right now, as expected, 91%. We were at 90% last time. We were at 89% just a couple of days ago. This was the lowest we've been in the last 2 weeks. We keep being around 90% extreme greed, which is an indicator that it doesn't necessarily mean that the market will drop immediately, but it is an indicator that a correction is coming, because the Fear and Greed Index doesn't really stay that high for too long. And this was one of the indicators that I pointed out when I talked about a correction coming. That correction is not yet coming. I'm not really sure. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but it seems like the correction is not really coming. And it's funny because there was in the news, there was this news about a Bitcoin whale selling $100 million worth of Bitcoin, which was kind of a sign from a lot of YouTubers literally jumped on the bandwagon to create videos about Bitcoin is gonna drop, you know, whales are dumping on us, you know, all of that. Well, it seems like the market managed to sustain that huge sale, and it still kept going up. So this is really bullish for Bitcoin. And if we look at some other metrics and things that are important that are usually taken into account, what is interesting this time is that the Google search analytics is showing that we are not really peaking right now. Typically when there is a peak in Bitcoin, there's also a peak in the Google searches. And if we look at the overall Google search from, you know, all time, we see that in 2017 December, which was the peak of Bitcoin, it was when it printed the all-time high. This is when we had the maximum searches. This is the ultimate all-time high in search history for Bitcoin in terms of the term Bitcoin being searched on Google. This time we are down here. We are not even close to it. We are actually close to what happened in June 2019, not even below June 2019, which was last June when we had the peak all the way to almost 14K. I think we touched 13,200 or something like that. And we were going to go to 14, but we never managed. And right now the Bitcoin searches are lower than that even. So this is interesting. This is one of the key differences between now and what happened in 2017. What's funny is that we are close to that all-time high. We are now just maybe just over $1,000 away from the all-time high of Bitcoin. But in terms of popularity and searches, we are not there. Another interesting thing here is that if we look at the regions where Bitcoin searches are happening the most, it is actually Nigeria, South Africa, Ghana. It's interesting because Austria and Netherlands are also in the high numbers here in the 4th and 5th place. Then we have Singapore, Switzerland, Slovenia, Australia, and Canada. These are the top 10 regions where the Bitcoin searches are highest right now. So we can attribute that to various reasons. While we're at the statistics, I want to also point out something else that is quite different between now and the 2017 highs. It is the amount of wallet addresses that hold $10 worth of Bitcoin or more. We are at an all-time high with those. last time in 2017, where we were at the all-time high of Bitcoin, all-time high in interest in Bitcoin, and all-time high in price in Bitcoin, we managed to gain all at about 12 million wallet addresses with $10 or more worth in Bitcoin. Then we peaked slightly later. We peaked in January, I think 2018, at 14 million. And since that, we started subsiding. Many people got scared. They were selling. Some people maybe even capitulated. So throughout 2018 and 2019, throughout that bear market, we saw that the number of these wallets declined. And then it started going up. 2019 to 2020, we see it going up until today, when we are at an all-time high at 18 million wallet addresses with $10 worth of Bitcoin or more. Now, let's quickly go through the news. And one of the interesting news today is that we have a celebrity again talking about Bitcoin, tweeting it to millions of users. That could be one of the reasons why we had such a spike yesterday. You remember in my yesterday's video, I was talking about, possibly going towards the 18,000 price range, and we managed to do that literally in just one day. So yesterday we were at 17,000, just touched 17,000. Today we are at 18,000. We gained 1,000 in one day. Well, Macy Williams, you're probably familiar with her. She is from Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is one of the most popular shows, millions of fans and everything. And she shared a tweet yesterday asking her followers if she should go long on Bitcoin, with a poll saying a yes or no option. And over the span of the day, the poll received more than 900,000 votes. So that's close to 1 million people were voting for it. And, she's got millions of followers. So you can imagine the exposure that Bitcoin got again in the mainstream. Another interesting news, and this has been reported by quite a few different outlets, is that Mexico's third richest, well, questionably third or second richest, because some sources are calling him the second richest, some sources are calling him the third richest man. Nevertheless, one of the richest men in Mexico is revealing that he is holding Bitcoin. Ricardo Salinas Pliego is the latest billionaire to jump on the Bitcoin promise. In a tweet today, he revealed holding 10% of his net worth in the asset. I don't really know this guy, but I'm pretty sure that Spanish-speaking audiences are quite familiar with him. If he is really the third or the second richest man in Mexico, then we're talking about a huge influence. And of course, again, on Twitter, a platform that is very popular around the world, millions of users and everything, mainstream. So mainstream again is talking about Bitcoin, and of course this is reflected in the markets. Now, if we look at what Bitcoin actually did here, is you remember I was drawing these resistance levels here and the support levels. We never went to these support levels. This is what is concerning me right now. We broke through these resistance levels very quickly, very easily. You can see this very big green candle, and we are looking now at the weekly. What is interesting here, and now again I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but I am expecting a correction soon. I'm not going to try and project exactly when the correction will come, but I feel it will be. It's getting nearer and nearer with every video that I'm doing, so it could be even next week. What I'm seeing here is that we are already having a lot of, this is the weekly, and let's count how many weeks we have been in the green. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we are now in the 7th week consecutive of positive gains in Bitcoin. We don't really hold more than 7 weeks very often. In fact, even in the history of Bitcoin, we have had 7 weeks a few times, and we've only had once or twice 8 weeks. So we've had 7 weeks green. We're talking about 7 green weeks consecutive. We've had that this year in April. We've had that last year in March. We've also had 7 weeks prior to that in October 2017. Then we've had 8 weeks in May 2017. And this is it in the recent history of Bitcoin. So typically after the 7th week, we can expect a red week, which would be next week. So we could actually go for 8 weeks. That is also possible. I will be surprised if we do, but it's possible, because you can see we've done that in 2017. Before that, we've done that as well in 2013, but I don't really count that. We've had 8 weeks in 2013, we've had even 13 weeks before that, and 13 weeks in 2012. But this is when the market was far more concentrated in Bitcoin. We had much less altcoins at the time. Even Ethereum was not around yet. So, I wouldn't really count these early records. And I'm using here Bitstamp, because Bitstamp actually has the longest history, price history in Bitcoin. And this is why I'm looking at the Bitstamp chart. But in the recent history, we've only had one example of 8 weeks. This is in 2017, and since then we've only had a record of 7 weeks. And we'll see if we're going to follow this, or are we going to set a new record. We'll find out. But this is what I'm expecting. Let's not forget that right now we are going parabolic, and once we start going parabolic, a sharp drop is expected. That's always the case. We were parabolic here in June 2019. We had a sharp drop, and we had quite a drop, in fact. So we will be having another sharp drop, and this correction that I've been talking about, it will happen. The question is when, not if. We were also, of course, parabolic in 2017, but we went exponential, in fact, not just parabolic, and this is why the drop was even worse than what we will have now. I don't expect a drop that big. I expect something like 30%, but we'll find out. Once we plateau, once we peak and we start plateauing and we start declining, it will be more clear to us what we can do, and this is when I'm going to do another analysis, and we're going to look into the price levels and what exactly we can reach, because first we have to see how high we go before we can assume how much we will correct. Because right now the support could actually be these levels here at 16,500 or 17,000, but the support could also be down to the 14,500. Let's first see how far we'll go. I'm going to draw some Fibonacci's, and we're going to look into what are the chances of correcting, how far we can go. I'm gonna do this in probably next week. Anyway, as you can see, I'm doing videos pretty much every day right now, because the price is going up, everything is getting quite hot, everyone is really eager to find out what could happen next. People are already asking me about altcoins and what could happen to the altcoin market. We see that altcoins are actually doing okay, but they're not being able to keep up with Bitcoin, and that's usually the case. When Bitcoin is doing a strong pump or even a strong dump, altcoins are suffering. So altcoins will bloom very soon, they will be peaking very soon, but they are waiting for Bitcoin to just stop, to just take a breather, take a break, and stop pumping. So this is what we are waiting for if you're looking for altcoins investment. As I advised you a couple of weeks ago, it's best to be out of altcoins at the moment, just because we want to find out what is going to happen with Bitcoin, and it is a little bit risky. Even though they're peaking in dollar value, if you compare them to Bitcoin value, you will find out that not many of the altcoins are actually doing any good. And this is, against Bitcoin, we see that pretty much everything is on the red. Do you see that? This is, yes, you can see it. So even Link, which is doing 5% gains in fiat value, is actually on the red compared to Bitcoin. Litecoin, which was doing quite well in the last few days, in Bitcoin value is 8% down. Bitcoin Cash is 8% down. Pretty much everything else is 8-9% down in Bitcoin value. Ethereum is only 3%, but it's still 3% less than Bitcoin. So if your money is in Bitcoin, you are winning. If your money is in altcoin, not so much. Okay, well, this is everything for today, guys. Thank you for joining me and staying until the end. Again, don't forget to leave a comment and a like in order to participate in the giveaway. Cobo Land tokens 250 will be given on Friday. I will be announcing the winners, so make sure that you catch this episode. And until then, I'm signing off right now. I'm gonna see you in my next video.